Okay, we are going through the topic of professionalism. We have gone through the definition of a profession. We have also gone through the definition of a professional and what do we mean by professionalism, what is meant by an engineering professional, how do we set the standards of professionalism, what are the things about us which tell others that we are professional or not, what are the things client is expecting from us, what are the things the client is not expecting from us. Same for the co-worker as well, expectation and disexpectation. And this is like a summary of the things everybody is expecting from us as a professional. Then we discuss the workplace issues, including the functional trust, mutual respect, and open communication. Three things. Okay, today, and we discuss about this as well. And then we moved on to teamwork, why teamwork is important. Okay, what does it mean to work in a team? How teamwork is done in engineering. What are the things which you need to keep in mind for your team in engineering? Today we'll be discussing about critical thinking. So this topic I already mentioned earlier as well. Critical thinking means that you are looking at something and trying to come up with possible solutions or improvements to that item. So critical thinking, you are objectively analyzing and evaluating the information, arguments, and ideas. So objectively means what? Objectively means that you are looking for the reasons behind it. Okay, so you look at something and you say the color is not good. Okay, this is your opinion, this is your feeling, but why is it not good? Then you give the reason. It's not good because it's not matching with the background, or it's not so clear, or it's against the law, okay, against the rule to use this color on the window or on the door and so on and so forth. So in critical thinking, you are looking for an objective analysis, meaning analysis which involves uh, some reasons as well. Okay. And what you are looking at could be information, it could be an argument, it could be an idea. Okay. So critical thinking can be applied to information, argument, or ideas. Uh, in critical thinking, you are trying to think clearly, logically, and systematically. In critical thinking, you are trying to think clearly, logically, and systematically. Clearly means that uh, you should be clear in your mind why you are doing this. Okay, what are you looking at? You should be clear about that. Okay, so are you doing it for you? Are you doing it for the project? Are you doing it for the client? Okay, am I trying to increase something or decrease something? Okay, so you cannot be both ways. Okay, clear thinking means you cannot be both ways. You cannot say, okay, I will try to decrease the cost, but maybe it will increase as well. It's not like this. It cannot work like this. You have to be logical, meaning whatever you are doing, there should be a reason behind it. There should be a reason, there should be a logic behind it. Okay, logic or reason. Okay, whatever you are doing, what is the reason? What is the purpose behind it? What is the reason behind it? Okay, and systematic means you have to follow a procedure, a method. Okay, so you come up, you say this material is stronger or this structure is better, then you should have followed the procedure to show me that how it is stronger, okay, or better. Okay, so you will show me your analysis, your equations, your formulas, your methods of how you got this answer. Okay, so you should be clear, you should have the reason, and you should have done all the necessary calculations. Okay, so critical thinking involves all these things. A person who has critical thinking, okay, who can do critical thinking, he should be able to identify assumptions. Assumptions meaning what others have thought when they were doing this. So you look at a design in which the building is very tall. It's 40 story, 60 story. So what is the reason behind it? Why they are designing so a building which is so tall? Okay, there should be some reason behind it, right? So you should be able to identify what others were thinking when they were doing certain things. So a critical thinker should be able to identify what others assumed when they were doing something. Okay, so this is the first thing. Second thing is he should be able to solve complex problems and, sorry, and to the third point, he should be able to consider the relevance and reliability of the information sources. Okay, anybody can give you any information in today's world. Okay, anybody may give you any information. You may get information from, so you ask anybody on your side, how is this construction work going on? Even a labor, okay, whose job is just to pick up blocks from one side to the other, even he can give his opinion about how the construction work is going. But is this opinion relevant? Is this reliable? Okay, or will you go to the project manager and ask him? Okay, so a critical thinker should be able to see from where to get the information, and he should be able to recognize and evaluate arguments. Argument meaning opinions or possible consequences, possible results. Okay, possible consequences or possible results. So he should be able to recognize, if I do this, what will happen in the future. Okay, and he should be able to evaluate them. Is this good for me or is this bad for me? And so on and so forth. So this skill is very important for decision making. The skill of critical thinking is very important for decision making and problem solving in the field. Okay, if you are not a critical thinker, you will always struggle when you have to make decision, when you have to solve a problem, and when you have to learn more things. Okay, so critical thinking will help you in making decisions and solving problems and also learning more about your field. Okay, uh, everybody from the start may not be a critical thinker. Okay, you have 10 people in your team. All of them may not be having this critical thinking skill. You may have to develop it. You may have to encourage it. May have to push them to become critical thinkers. So there are certain phrases which are indicating attitudes which a critical thinker should have. Okay, so each of these phrases is pointing towards an attitude which a critical thinker should have. Okay, for example, it's okay to make mistakes, but don't make the same mistake twice. Okay, uh, try to uh, explain this to your team members that don't worry about doing something new on the chance that you may make a mistake. Mistake is common, mistakes will happen. Okay, but the important thing is that you learn from your mistakes and don't do them again. Okay, so this will make sure that everybody is thinking to the fullest potential. They are thinking about, okay, what can I do something? What can I do new here? Okay, what can I do more? Always they are thinking about improving because they are not worried about if I do something new, there will be a mistake. Okay, this is what happens in the field. Your boss is always, you made a mistake and your boss is on top of it. And he says, why did you do this? We never did it in our company. So you did something new. Now you're responsible. Yes, he is responsible for the mistake, but he was trying something new. You should encourage, okay, that yes, you made a mistake. Okay, you bought the material from this supplier. He was a new supplier. You did try to do something new and good. You made a mistake. Don't do it again. So we will see it in the future. So encourage or explain to the team members that there's no problem in making mistakes if you are doing something new. Uh, you probably don't know all, so you need to learn. Okay, so you have to show it from your own attitude as well. Okay, that I don't know everything. Nobody can know everything. Nobody can know everything. Okay, so if somebody says I don't know about this, you tell him, okay, yes, it's fine to not know about anything. You have to go and learn. You have to go and then learn about it. Okay, so you are pushing your team members to learn something new. Okay, and you are also making sure that they understand that if they don't know about anything, they can say openly, yes, I don't know, instead of giving you wrong information. So there is a new software in the market. You go and ask them, and they are afraid of you. If they say no, you will fire them. No, you have to understand, and they have to know that it's fine if they tell you we don't know about this software. Okay, because then you will not be mad at them. Okay, but at the same time, you will say, now this is in the market, go and learn about it. Okay, so you have to do this, and there is more than one possible right answer. Okay, let me give an example. I want to reduce the I understand that you presented it somewhat. Sorry for that. Okay, so you want to reduce the time of your project. Okay, you want to shrink the time of your, so it's supposed to finish in 1 month. Now you want to finish it in 20 days. There are different ways to do it. You can increase the number of people who are working on the site. You can decrease the amount of work on the site. Okay, that we will not do 20 story, we will do only 19 story. Okay, or you can, instead of people, you can use machines. Okay, so there are all three different answers to the same question, and all of them will give me the same result. It will shorten the time, it will decrease the time. Okay, so all of them are right, but they are different approaches. Okay, so if somebody says something, that doesn't mean that anybody else may not have another opinion, and that opinion will be wrong. It doesn't say that. It doesn't mean that. Okay, somebody said this in the team, maybe somebody else has some other uh, way, has some other option which could also be correct. Okay, so try to encourage your team members to give their opinions and different options, even if you have a right option. Okay, your solution will create some problems. There is no situation in which you will not have any problem. Let me give an example from your side. You want to increase your grade. So you say, I will now study for more hours. Okay, I'll study for more hours. So when you study for more hours, it may affect your sleep. It may affect your food. It may affect your uh, times with your friend, your gym time, for example, your sports time. I believe all these things are important at the right level. Okay. So you are trying to solve a problem, but it is creating some other issues. Okay. So there is no situation in the world where you don't have this, where you don't have new issues coming out of new solutions. Okay. This only happens in Jannah. Okay. When you go to paradise in Jannah, we will not have any issues, inshallah. Okay. But as we are in the world, any situation, no matter how good it looks, it will have its own issues. Okay. The last thing is, you are not really done. No matter how good you have done, okay, you have given your best, you have done whatever you can, but this is not the end. This is never the end. Okay, you always can look for something more. How can I make it better? How can I do more? What can I do more? Okay, so always try to push yourself forward. You never satisfy yourself at any level. You try to always push yourself forward. You have to always go forward. Okay, so these are the things which will create a critical thinking mindset in your team. Okay, so they have given, like, you tell these phrases or your statements to your team members, so they will encourage, they will start using their critical thinking skill. If you develop a culture in your team and in your project where people are doing critical thinking, uh, and so they will be able to create problems, sorry, not the problem, they will be able to solve the problems creatively. They will be able to come up with new solutions to the problem. Okay, but you have to keep one thing in mind, that as an engineer, you will face different situations every day. Every situation will have its own constraints, limits. Every situation has its own constraints or limits. Okay, so for example, every project has its own budget, it has its own timeline, it has its own space, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you have to look at every situation, and you have to look at the constraints you have, and then you have to come up with a new solution. Okay, so for example, I want to reduce the time, and there's a solution. I can employ machines instead of people. So I can reduce the labor and I can employ more machines on the site. It will make the work faster, but it will also increase the cost. Okay, so I have a limit, or I have a constraint for cost. So can I go over this constraint? If I cannot, then this is not a possible solution. So you always have to come up with possible solutions according to the constraints you have, according to the situation, according to the constraints you have. Okay. If you want to learn how to become critical thinker, you can follow these 6 steps. The first step is clarify why you are doing this, in what situation you are doing this. Okay. Why I'm looking at new information and new ideas, and what is my purpose? What is my in what situation I'm looking at this? Am I doing it for a residential project? Am I doing it for an industrial project? Okay. Am I doing it for one client? Am I doing it for the entire organization? Okay. So what is your purpose and what is your context? Okay. So this will make sure that you are clear in your direction. The first step will give you a direction to move on. In which direction should I go forward? Then question your sources. All sources are not equally reliable. Okay, for example, we have Google Maps, right? We have Google Maps. If you go online or even in the Play Store or the Apple Store, you will find many apps which are used for navigation. You can use those apps instead of Google Maps. Okay, all of them have the same information. All of them have the same information, the routes, the roads, and so on and so forth. But all of them are not equally reliable. Okay, one of them is more up to date than the other one. Okay, so you have to look at which information you can, from which source you can take the information. Okay, so this step will filter out any source which does not give you the right information. Okay, so I move into my office, I have to gather some data. Okay, so in this step, I will select from which people I can gather this data. Okay, should I go to the accounts? Should I go to the HR? Should I go to the marketing? Should I go to uh, the office supervisor? Okay, who can give me the information which I need, and who will give me reliable information? Okay, maybe you need information about HR. You can go to the accounts. That person will also have some information because he is dealing with people as well. He knows who is the manager, who is the office boy, and so on. He knows, but is his information more reliable than the HR manager? You have to think about that. The third step is identify arguments. Okay, so argument is when you are trying to show something to someone about the result. Okay, argument, like I said, if you do this, this will happen. So for example, a student comes and he says, my answer is 100% correct. This is an argument. Okay, this is an argument. Okay, so argument is I will, at the end of this course, you will be able to identify what is professionalism. This is an argument. Okay, or if you don't finish this course, you will have problems in your career. This is an argument. Okay, so anything which you say to anyone about something in future is an argument. Okay, anything which you say to anyone about something in future is an argument. So you need to identify possible future arguments. Okay. The next step is analyze sources and arguments. Whatever arguments you have, whatever sources you have, now you start to start having a look at them and analyzing them. Okay. Try to go in details of each and every source and the argument. If some source says that tomorrow will be rainfall, there will be rain tomorrow. Okay, what are the reasons behind it? Why this source is saying the rain? Okay, so you try to analyze the reason of having a certain argument and what are the sources which are pointing towards that argument, and so on and so forth. Okay, so in the fourth step, you look at the argument and the sources, you analyze them and you look at the reasons behind them, the working, the numbers, the values, anything which is related to the sources and the arguments, you try to go in details. Okay. So by doing that, you will be able to see how each argument and how each source is working. Okay, what is the background of each source and each argument? So this is, they are saying this is cheap, this material is cheap. What are the sources behind it? Why they are saying this is cheap? Maybe it is locally made, it's not coming from, they are not importing it, and so on and so forth. Then evaluate the argument of others. Listen to others now. The others may have something. You have a team, right? You are working in a team. In a project, we always work in a team. So now you ask others, what is your opinion about this thing in the future and this thing in the future? And they will give you their opinion. Then you ask them, and you are not trying to uh, select one of them right now. Okay. Like I said, all of them could be correct. You may have 4 different arguments from your people, and all of them could be correct. Okay. So at this time, we are trying to understand, just trying to understand, okay, that what could be the possibilities. Okay. And when they give you some argument, then you don't accept and reject. Right now, we are not accepting and rejecting. Then you tell them, okay, why, or you ask them about more details again. The same thing which you did with your working, now you ask the same thing from others as well. Okay, you are giving me this argument. What is the reason behind it? Why you are saying this is cheap? Why you are saying this is strong? What are the values? What is the data you have, and so on and so forth. Okay. So fourth is doing it on your own, and fifth is doing it with others. And the last step is the main claim. On the basis of the information, on the basis of your arguments and others' arguments, now you make a decision. So this is the final stage now. You make a final claim that I have listened to everything, I have seen everything, whatever the possibilities are. According to all these things, I claim that we should do it like this, and this will happen. If we do it like this will happen. Okay. So this is like this whole process, these 6 steps are like a puzzle. Okay, they are like a puzzle. So you are taking piece from different sides. Okay, and then you put them together as one picture. Okay, so you took different pieces, now you are making one picture. Okay, so this is the technical term for it is synthesis. Okay, the technical term is synthesis, meaning placing things together. So you had information, you had your own arguments, you have others' arguments, you have their theories and everything. You put them together, and now you see what you have made down. Okay, this is your final claim. So the correct term is synthesis. It means putting everything together in a nice way which makes sense. Things which have been taken from different sources, you put them together to make some sense. Let us take one example. The example is questioning your sources. So we are taking the example of step number 2. Step number 2. Okay. So in questioning the sources, why questioning your sources is important is because of this reason, or these reasons. Sorry. So first of all, we want to eliminate sources which are not important for us. Okay. We want to, the first thing questioning the sources will give you is it will eliminate the sources which are not important, which are not accurate. Okay. So after eliminating these sources, I know that whatever data I'm looking at, it is relevant and it is reliable. Okay, it is relevant and reliable. Okay, so you see the word here, erroneous. The opposite of erroneous is accurate. Okay, so erroneous is the opposite of accurate, reliable. Okay, so I want to get only sources which are accurate and reliable. Okay, so I have 3 people in my team. Okay, one of them is very good with softwares. The other 2 are not good with software. So if I have to ask a question about a software, I'll only rely on this person who is good with it. Okay, something like this. Okay, questioning your sources will sharpen the focus of your inquiry. Now, the analysis which you are doing, it will make them better. Okay, it will make your analysis or it will provide you better chances to make good questions. Okay, because or it will give you better chances to make good questions. Okay, because you are looking at something which is relevant and reliable. Okay, so you can ask better questions because you know now the source is accurate. Okay, otherwise you will always be confused. You can try this thing with Google as well. Okay, so Google gives you everything, right? But if you go to a particular site which is only about civil engineering, that will give you more clearer answers. Okay, so you can go in more details. Okay, so the one which has more focus gives you more clearer answers and it allows you to go in more details. So if that, for example, if you ask me about traffic, it's my field. I will give you more detailed answers. But if you ask me about the structures, it's not my field. I can give you some general answers, but it's not good for you. I'll always give you general answers. Okay. It will also give you a better understanding of the topic. It will give you both sides of the coin. It will give you both sides of the item. Okay, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages? As I told you earlier, every situation has some issues. Everything in this world has some issues. It has some negative points, it has some positive points. When relying at the reliable sources, you will have a better chance of looking at both things, positive as well as negative. Okay, uh, the last point here is it will allow you to do better analysis. Okay, we call it garbage in, garbage out. There's a very famous term, garbage in, garbage out. So if you give me wrong information, my decision will be wrong. I'm trying to see which material is cheaper, but I'm taking the information from the website which is from US. So it gives me the rates from US. The rates are wrong, my budget will be wrong, obviously. Okay, so because I did not select my source properly, my analysis is wrong. If I select my source properly, I'm giving myself better chance of doing the analysis accurately. Okay, so this is why the source is important. Okay, the questions which you should ask about the source. When you're selecting the source, these are questions you should ask. Is the source having an intended audience? Okay, for example, today in the morning, I was giving the lecture to for the AutoCAD course, and I was telling them about beams and columns. Okay, this lecture is good for those students. I cannot tell the same thing to the students who are in the third or the final year. Okay, because the audience is different. So the information which you are taking is the source mentioning that this information is for a student, or is it for an expert, or is it for the industry, is it for the ministry, is it mentioning that? Okay, if it is mentioning, then who are those people for which the information is given? Maybe it's not meant for you. Okay, maybe the information is not for you. The second thing is this information supporting view of a specific person or organization or country or something? Okay, so for example, in the last semester, I had a group of students who were presenting about solar panels. They took the information from a company which makes solar panels. So obviously what they were saying, what they were presenting was good, 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 good. Solar panels are the best solution in the whole world. You should not think about anything else. This is biased. We call it biased, meaning you are only providing me one side of the information. So you have to look at the source and you have to look, is this source only talking about the good things? Is this source only talking about the bad things? Okay, so that means they are biased. Another thing which is related is the information giving objectively, or is it because of the feeling or the emotion of the person who's giving the information? Okay, so you go to the person, you are looking at 10 different people for promotion, and you're going to different department heads in your organization and asking about these people. Okay, so you go to one department head, and as soon as you take the name of person X, this person gets angry and he says, he is not good, you should fire him, he is never on time, he is not doing his job properly. Okay, but now you see that he is angry. So what he is saying is not because or maybe not because of how the person is. Maybe he is saying it because he doesn't like him. Okay, or the other way around. Could be the other way around. Maybe those two people are very good friends with each other. So when you say the name of person X to this guy now, he says, no, no, he deserves the promotion. He's the only guy who deserves a promotion. He's always on time. He's always working hard and so on and so forth. So again, there's emotion involved. Okay, so you are getting the information, but that person is emotionally involved with the other person. Okay, so his information is obviously not reliable. It's like asking a mother about their about her kid. So the mother always has good opinion for the kid, right? Is the information is the source using technical knowledge or description, okay, which is aimed at the experts. Okay, so the information is given. In what way the information is given? Okay, is it aimed towards the expert or is it aimed towards uh, something who is at the lower level? Okay, what type of language they are using? Okay, is again there's the next question is also related. Is the information using any humor or entertainment? So you can look at the science books for grade 1 and grade 12, for example. In grade 1 you will see more entertainment, draw the pictures, color them, uh, join the dots and so on. The same concept in the book of 12th grade will not be presented in the same way. Okay, why? Because in the 12th grade they are trying to educate you. In the first grade, yeah, they are trying to give you information, but they are trying to develop your interest. Okay, they are trying to develop your interest. So this is very basic. At the lower level for grade 1, this is very basic, but when you go higher level, it becomes more technical. It becomes, or it should become, more technical. Okay, so this is what you have to see as well. Is it providing you information in a technical way, or is it giving you in, like, in the way where you develop your interest and you have humor and so on? Okay. The second other questions include that is the evidence or the statements, can I verify it from other sources? Okay, so I look at one source, it tells me tomorrow there will be rain. Can I verify it from other source? Is there any other website or an app from where I can go and check if there will be rain tomorrow or not? Uh, is the information giving you something which is obviously false? For example, they tell you concrete is lighter than steel, or they tell you wood is stronger than concrete. Okay, so this is obviously false. So that means when such information is there, that means the source is not serious, is not reliable. Okay, because they're giving you something which you know is obviously false. Is the source selectively presenting one side of the issue? Like I give the example of the solar panel company. Okay, so they are only giving you advantages of solar panels and no disadvantages. This is one side of the story. Is it missing some crucial evidence? So they say this material is stronger, but they are not providing you the lab results of the tests. So how you are saying it is stronger? Or they are saying this material is cheaper, but they do not provide the cost of their material and the other materials. So they are missing some very important piece of information. Is the source answering your question? Is it I'm looking at the information because I have some questions, right? Is it relevant to my questions? Is it adding to anything which you don't know? Is it adding to anything which you don't know? Maybe the source is very old and you already know what it is showing you. Who has written this? Who has written this information? Okay, so whoever is giving you this information, does this person has any expertise in the area? Does this person have any background in the area? Has this person written anything previously which is accepted in the area? Okay, so for example, we have a very famous writer for traffic engineering. His name is Mick Shane. Okay, so we already are teaching books from Mick Shane. So if I see a paper which is written by McShane, I'll accept it because I know the author is very, very qualified. He is related to traffic engineering. I have seen his books and so on and so forth. Okay. But if McShane writes about structures or if he writes about accounting, okay. So yes, he is very famous. I take his textbooks, but in traffic, not here. Okay. So the other set of questions you need to ask is about the authors, the author or the authors. Okay, do they have the background? Do they have the qualification? Have they written anything previously which is accepted in this area and so on? Okay. Okay, now when you are looking at these things, you have to keep something in mind. You will come across or you will get information which is not conforming to each other. Okay, and this is the whole purpose of selecting them or looking at the information, that you get different views, and all these views could be correct. Okay, all these views could be correct, but it with different approaches. Like I gave the example of shortening the time of the project. So you can shorten it in different ways. Okay, using machine, having more labor, so on and so forth. All these approaches are correct. Or these approaches are correct, but you will agree with one of them, right? You will agree with one of them. So when you are looking at information, you have to accept that I will get different answers, and these answers could be correct with different approaches or with different cases. In the end, you will select one of them and reject the others. Okay, so you have to be prepared to take information which is giving you different answers, and you should be prepared to select one of them. Okay. Next thing we come on to is humanness. Humanness is the behavior of human beings. Okay. Humanness means the behavior of human beings. Human beings behave according to their feelings. Human beings have different feelings: love, anger, empathy, sympathy, compassion, understanding, kindness. Okay. These are different feelings. So your behavior is according to these feelings. Like I mentioned, the example of a mother towards their child. Okay. So a mother will do everything for their child because of the feeling, because of her feelings. Okay. She loves her child very much. So uh, she will do everything for the child, right? Feeding them and bathing them and taking care of them the whole night and everything. Okay. So this is because of the feeling. So this humanness, when you have humanness in you, okay, this will make sure that you are dealing with others at a human level. This is a higher level than the professional. Okay. We have professional link with others and we have human link with others. Professional links are good, but they're not as strong as a human link. Okay. So you have, for example, you are 20 students in the class. Okay. All 20 of them are not your friends, but you sit with them, you work with them, you talk with them. Okay. But if you have to make a group, you will go for one of them, right? Why? Because of the human level. Okay. For that one person, you may do extra job. Okay. You may do something extra for that one person. How does it apply to the company? If the boss of the company, if your manager is connecting with you at the human level, you will be willing to work more for that guy. Okay. Otherwise, he's just a boss and he doesn't understand me. He is never communicates properly with me. He never smiles at me. So yes, I will do my job, but whenever there's a chance, I will back out. Why should I do something extra for this guy? Okay. So when you show humanness in your work, people connect to you or bond with you stronger. Okay. So you can get better performance out of them. A professional relationship may not give you the best performance out of the people. Okay. Humanness or human behavior also shows in the ethics and the more showing humanness also ensures that you are ethical and moral. You are behaving in an ethical and moral manner towards others. Okay. When you are connecting with others at a human level, then you are more likely to show them ethical and moral behavior. You will not lie to them. You will take responsibility of your work because of the feelings you have, because of the humanness you have. Okay. So in engineering, humanness refers to recognizing the values of others, the ethics and consideration which you have to keep in your professional practice. Okay, so in humanness, in engineering means you always think about what others uh, will say about what you're doing. Okay, will they feel if is it good or will they feel it is bad? Okay, so why humanness is important for engineering? Because we have to keep in mind that whatever we are doing should be beneficial for everybody, not only technically correct, but should be beneficial for everybody. So you are doing construction of a building, but in doing your construction, you are blocking the half of the road. So your construction work is very good. You are on time within budget, but now you are disturbing others. So you are showing less humanness now. Okay, your technical skill is good. What you are doing technically on the field is good, but what you are doing to the society is not good. Okay, and same thing for the co-workers, for the clients and everything. So when you show humanness, or why humanness is important for us, that our work should not be harmful to anybody. Okay, including our client, our co-workers, our boss, as well as the society. Okay, this is, we have mentioned it many times earlier. Engineering is for the benefit of the society. So you have the duty of humanness towards everybody. Okay, so you have to understand others' feelings when you are working, so that you do not harm them in any way. Okay, sometimes you harm others uh, physically, sometimes you harm others mentally. Okay, so there should not be any harm by any means. Okay, so I will stop here. Anybody has any questions? uh, are there any questions from anyone? Okay, what I'm going to do is I will take the attendance. Okay, so while I'm taking the attendance, you have to open your mic and say that you are here. Okay, it's much better in this way. Stop the recording.